In my last video I introduced you to my latest cosplay project, which is Polka from the video game Eternal Sonata, and I showed you all the fabrics and bits and pieces that I'd bought in order to make the cosplay. And in this video you're going to see the actual making of the cosplay, and at the end of the video you can see the final result. Making Polka was probably my biggest cosplay challenge so far. It took about a month or more to make, and there were a lot of details that I had to consider, and there were a lot of mistakes, as you will see in the video, but I'm really proud of the final result, and I really hope you like it too. So without further ado, here's the making of my Polka cosplay. I really hope you enjoy it. Thanks for watching, everyone. Hey guys, so I've just started working on my Polka cosplay, and currently I'm working out the pattern for the bodice. Here's the massive mess I've made so far, but I figured I needed to start with the bodice because once I've figured out the size that is, I can figure out everything else that needs to go underneath it. So basically what I've done is take the bodice pattern pieces that I used for my Glinda costume that I made at New Year's, and placed it onto this brown paper roll, traced around it and tried to figure out in some way or another how the pieces need to be shaped. This one here is you can't see it very well because of all the paper that's hanging around it, but that's the side front, which I've lost. Oh, here it is. It's originally this piece, but what I've done is add on a bit of extra length in accordance to the front of the bodice, which I did earlier, and I've worked out that funny little wedge in the middle that Polka has, and I'm working from that front piece to create the rest. So hopefully this should match up to this when it all is cut out. So yesterday I finished the mock-up of the bodice. I'm actually having to hold it on at the minute because obviously I can't put a zip in it because it's only a mock-up, but basically apart from a couple of problems, it's actually come out alright, considering I was really worried the pattern wouldn't work. The main problem at the moment is just here where the split comes down on the front panel of the bodice. This bit was way too thin on the pattern, and I figured that was going to be a problem. So what's happened is it's obviously not got enough to make a seam, so what I'm going to have to do is make it a bit thicker so that it's got plenty of fabric for a seam down these panels here. But apart from that, it's okay. The top came out nicely, which I was surprised at, because all I did was, because it was originally a sweetheart neckline, what I've done is just literally make it slightly rounded at the top, which looks quite neat. And then at the side, it does what it does on the on Polka's actual bodice, and sort of goes up, and then at the back it's actually the same size as the bodice, the original bodice pattern, basically, just a little bit longer. So I can simply get a zip that's the same size as what I would normally get, which is really good. So that's the bodice mock-up so far. What I'm going to do, because I don't want to go on to make the actual thing until I'm absolutely certain that the pattern's perfect, I'm going to unpick this front panel here, and I'm going to readjust the pattern that I made so that this bit should hopefully fit. I'll resew it, double check that it's okay, and when I'm absolutely confident with it, I will get on with making the real thing. Right, so I've just got started on cutting out a new mock-up bodice front. You can see where I've altered it. Originally this was the seam line, now it is here. Okay, so back here again. Yeah, I'm really struggling to hold on to this without a zip on, but yeah, I've fixed this bit here, so there is now actually a sufficient amount of room for seam allowance, and what will basically happen then is that when the lining goes on, it will hopefully turn up like that, and that will be the shape. It's slightly longer than I hoped for, but for now I think it's going to be alright, and the next move is basically to go on and start making the actual bodice. Right, I have made a start on the actual bodice. Yeah, you can't really see the colour very well at the minute, but that is convincingly like a nice chocolatey brown. The camera didn't show it up very well, but there you go. That's the front piece, all cut out. I don't think I've ever been so neat with my cutting. This is the side front. Yeah, all pretty neat, I think. And I'm just about to cut out the side back, and then after I've done that one, I will do this little bit here, which is the back. So yeah, hopefully this shouldn't take me too much longer. And once I've done that, I'm going to sew all the pieces together, and I will do the gold embroidery on the front of the bodice. Right, so here's the bodice front. Now I have the wonderful task of embroidering this. This goes, this little pretty heart goes on the, hang on, the left hand side of the bodice, just in the little pointy bit in the corner. And for this, I've tried a couple of sketches of half the heart shape, and decided that this one, because it was a bit bigger, it will show up a little bit better. So the plan is get this shape and somehow manage to transfer it onto here. And this is what I managed to come up with. I'm kind of wish it had been a bit neater, but it just came out the way it was, and I'm not going to redo it. A, because it looks pretty good anyway, and B, because I don't have to do it all again because it took ages. I haven't done the buttons and the bits of string on the front yet. I did buy some piping thread, which will not only go in here but will also do the bits on the front with the buttons, but I won't put those on yet because first I've got the interlining to do. I've literally just done this. This is the interlining for the bodice. I did this on my Glinda costume that I made in December, and basically what I'm going to do is put the boning in this and then sew it to the back of the main bodice front, and then I'll be able to sew on the buttons. Good morning! So here's what I managed to achieve yesterday with the skirt part of the dress. There's the top, and here's what I came up with for the bottom after I'd cut out all the pattern pieces. So yeah, needs a bit of an iron, but what can you do? So yeah, basically this is the middle piece, those two are the end bits for the back, and what I'm going to do now is put the pleats in as instructed on the pattern, sew those in and then sew them all together, and yeah, basically put them onto the top and see what it looks like. Hey, so now I'm working on the sleeves. I've left the dress bit there, it's virtually all done. I just need to get a zip for it. But yeah, for now I'm going to work on the sleeves. I've painted the olive line with some of the fabric paint that I bought, and I'm now using the fabric painting pans for this bit here. Then I'll leave that to dry for a bit, and possibly start on the skirt. I finished the sleeves. I'm really happy. Progressed quite quickly from yesterday actually. Finished the painting yesterday and it's all dried, and so I've put the sleeves all together and I've added this fabric here on the ends. You might have noticed that the sleeves don't lie flat, they kind of come out into a bell shape, and that's because on the inside of the cuffs I've put jewellery wire, so that it gives them a nice bell shape instead of being flat, because they're quite stiff in the game when you see Polka wearing them. So yeah, sleeves are done. The plan now is, because I don't have zips yet for the bodice or for the dress, they're in the post on the way, the plan is to leave the dress for now. I won't put the sleeves on yet because it will make the dress too heavy when I'm trying to sew on the zips, so I'll wait for the zips to arrive. But while I'm doing that, I'm going to move on to the skirt, because that should be quite simple. So yeah, once that's done, I'll be able to put zips in, put lining on the bodice, and yeah, there's a lot to do, but it should be good fun. So let's see how we go. Right, here's the progress I've made. When you think about it, I've actually come pretty far. I made the skirt quite quickly. That really didn't take long. The only difficulty with the skirt was putting the elastic in. I've done it so it's a stretchy waist because that was easier than shirring and quicker, and it's the top of it's not going to be seen, so as long as it actually stays snugly under the bodice, it shouldn't matter too much. And hemming took a little while because my machine's been playing up slightly, but yeah, otherwise it's all good. The skirt is pretty much finished. It'll be whatever embellishments it needs afterwards. The sleeves are done like I showed you, and this flower was a very lucky find. My lovely friend Claire, well, she and I went shopping the other day, and we went into Hobbycraft, and she spotted this flower, which was really good because it's pretty much almost the same as the one Polka has on her sleeve, so I'm really chuffed. So that's somehow gonna go on the sleeve. And then moving on to the bodice, I'm almost finished. I ordered some lining, some nice brown lining, on the internet the other day, and it came really quickly in the post, which is fantastic. So I literally did the lining in the space of a few hours. So yeah, basically all I've got to do now, you can see I've got a load of pins in here. All I've got to do now is sew in the piping. I found some zips, some good zips that will go with. It's a nice chocolate brown zip. You can't really see the colour very well, but it's a nice chocolate brown zip that will fit onto the bodice, and then that, in theory, is the bodice finished. Hey guys, just wanted to show you where I've got to. Finally sorted out the black bit. It has taken me forever. Too many problems with zips being too short or being sewn upside down. Yes, I know that's a really rookie mistake to make, but I made it. But apart from all that rubbish, it is done. I've literally just sewn in the sleeves, and they fit, which is great. I'm slightly off the shoulders, but that's okay because I'll have the whatchamacallit thing, the shrug, the shrug coming down. But yeah, the sleeves are all done. I'll just have to sew the flower onto this one. And the skirt, I realised I haven't finished the skirt because I've got the grey and fluffy white trimming to do along the bottom before I can declare it finished. Morning guys, I've been really busy today. With this part of the skirt, I figured I'd better get this bit done. What I've done is get the grey fabric, and I've put some piping in for the sort of piped edge bit of the skirt, and then I was debating between pleating and ruching the white bit that pokes out the bottom of the skirt, but in the end I went for pleating, and I'm not so sure it was the greatest idea because it is taking me forever. I have been here for quite some time pleating this, and it's actually taken up, I think this is currently the third strip of white cotton. And I probably need a couple more. I'm having to use some fabric that I was going to use to make a summer dress. Well, like a lining for a summer dress, so I'm having to use that at the moment to make this. And I think I've taken up most of my pin pot with this as well. So yeah, it's taking me a while, but hopefully it'll be worth it. I just think pleats look a bit neater than the ruche sort of trimming you can do, so hopefully it'll be worth it. It'll be a little heavier because of the excess fabric, but yeah, once it's on the skirt with the underskirt, it should be fine. So I'm just going to sit here for a little while and carry on pleating basically until this bit's done, and then I'll sew it onto the rest of the skirt. Oh, I've finished the bottom of the skirt. It's taken me the best part of today to do this. There's bits of thread everywhere, it's a bit of a nightmare, but yeah, taken me the best part of today to do this, but it's done. The pleating, I think, was worth the effort, to be honest, because it actually looked really quite nice, and the grey was definitely worth the piping efforts because that looks really good too. I'm actually really pleased. So yeah, that bit's done. All that it needs now is there's a couple of little green clovers that sort of go around here on Polka's cosplay, so I'm going to figure out how I'm going to do those, because they're going to be a bit tricky, I think. A bit fiddly. Either I'm going to have to do it by hand or do it by machine, but we'll see what we can do. And yeah, so that's the plan, is to finish off the skirt today, I think, so let's get on with it. Hey all, I've moved on to the apron because I figured out that I can't really do embroidery on the skirt until I know how far the apron's going to come down, because I don't want the apron to basically cover the embroidery on the skirt. So I'm working on the apron. Most of it's over there with all the embroidery threads scattered about, and my room is as usual a mess. But this is the front pocket, as you can see on here, and what I've decided to do, I've left the fabric pens over here. What I've decided to do, instead of worrying about embroidering such a tiny piece, I thought, well, I've got these fabric paints and thankfully it comes with a green, so what I'm going to do is draw that little leaf bit on here. I don't know, you probably can't see, oh no you can actually. Underneath I've just got a little tracing drawing of the leaf that I've copied, and then what I'm going to do is obviously just get this pan from in here and go around it. So hopefully it turns out okay, because I might just test it on a little bit of scrap fabric first just to be safe, but yeah, hopefully that'll look really nice. Morning all! Just want to show you what I finally managed to do yesterday. I started and finished the apron. Yeah, and I'm really pleased with how it came out. I've done embroidery stitching around the edges. I successfully drew the green leaf on the pocket, and I did some more embroidery and stuff. Now I am moving on to the bandana. I'm just trying to work out a pattern for it at the moment, because this is feeling a lot trickier than it should be. I've found a few pictures online. I really like this one. I can't see who it's by, but yeah, I really like this bandana, so I'm just going to try and sort of replicate what they've done there, because it looks quite simple really. So yeah, I'm just trying to sort of work out a pattern now, and then I'm going to make a mock-up of it using that old blue fabric of mine, so hopefully it'll work out. Morning all! Sorry I didn't film yesterday, but I was really busy trying to get the bandana finished, and I actually did it, and it's come out really well. I'm really pleased. Here it is. Yeah, considering it was all improvisation, I'm actually really pleased with it. Yeah, I think the worst part was probably doing the embroidery. I have no patience when it comes to embroidery, but I'm considering I'm actually really pleased with how it came out. I embroidered all the little blue stitches, the little red splotches and all the white stitches around here, and putting in the little cute triangular ears thing was good fun. I sort of improvised around that as well, but surprisingly they came out quite well. I would show it to you on my own head, but it's actually made to fit around a wig, so it will require me putting a wig on and I look a bit ridiculous in wigs without all the cosplay makeup and stuff. But anyway, yeah, so it does fit and I'm really pleased with how it came out, which is good, and it looks alright on the wig, so that's really good news. Now I'm moving on to one of the last parts, which is the shrug. I've just been trying to work out a pattern on there. I've searched and searched on the internet, but it's really hard to find a shrug that is sleeveless, or it's just really hard searching online for that. And I'm now just going to try drawing it out and hope for the best and hope that it turns out okay. So yeah, this should, technically speaking, be the last part. The only other thing two things I have to do are I need to embroider a little clover onto the skirt, a couple of little clovers onto the skirt, and I also need to sort out, Polka has these strange little gold bits of jewellery on the sleeves, which I forgot about. I've tried searching for something like that online and just there's nothing. So I'm thinking paper mache, fall back on my old friend paper mache, and painting the paper mache gold. But yeah, apart from that, and once the shrug's done, I should actually be finished. So I've done this a lot quicker than I was expecting, but we'll just see how the shrug goes because I am totally improvising this one. So yeah, let's just see how it goes. Just working on the clovers on the skirt at the moment because the shawl cape thing hasn't been going very well, and I've kind of just abandoned it for a little while to try and sort of come up with a different plan for it. So for now I'm just working on embroidering the clover. As you can see, it's a little bit messy at the minute. This is like my third, I think my third attempt. Mostly it's going okay, but I've just got to be really patient with it, and there are some bits that I do need to unpick and start again, but most of it's actually going quite smoothly, which is really, really good. So I'm going to carry on with that, and hopefully the skirt will be finished. Hello! So obviously I've been working on the shrug for my cosplay for the past few days, but unfortunately everything that I've done with it I have just not been pleased with, and I've felt like it's not right. And yeah, here's what I did and what I've finished so far, and if you just look at it, it's just not that great. Instead of doing all this fluffy stuff around the collar, I'm going to try and cut out some actual leaf shapes, like feather shapes, and I've ordered some like fabric kind of fray stop glue so that I can just do it without needing to worry about hemming. And I'm going to do the same with this, but like with bigger sort of individual leaves. And this was a really lovely idea actually, from a lady in my local haberdashery. I was chatting to her about the cosplay when I went to buy some extra thread, and she suggested I do little individual feathers, and I was like, that's actually a really good idea. I don't know why I haven't thought of that yet. So I'm gonna do that, but first of all I'm gonna alter the pattern a little bit because that one over my shoulders is actually a bit too long and it's not supposed to be all that long. So I'm just going to trim the top of the pattern so that it ends up being just a little bit shorter. And then I've ordered the fray stop glue, so that should arrive in a few days. And for the little gold bits that go on Polka sleeves, I was debating with my boyfriend about how to do it, and he's thinking foam is a good idea, and I'm thinking that's also a good idea, but then I thought people make clay jewellery quite a lot, so I had a look on eBay and I found some gold moulding clay, like modelling clay basically, so I'm gonna give that a shot. Hopefully should arrive today. If it doesn't, it'll be here by tomorrow, and then what I'm going to do is mould the little shapes and put them in the oven and hope that they come out okay. So yeah, it's only these 2 bits left to go. I did finish the bits on the skirt. Here you go, look, I finished the clovers. Took me a while, but once I figured out what was up with my sewing machine, it went a hell of a lot smoother, and I'm really chuffed with how it came out. So yeah, that's done. All that is left is, it's taken me absolutely ages, but all that is left is this shrug and the gold bits on the arm. So it's gonna take a few days, obviously, because I'm waiting on things to arrive in the post, but for now I'm going to do what I can to speed things along a bit. I have been playing Eternal Sonata, A, because I just really fancy playing it, and B, because I wanted to sort of get a bit more of an idea of like Polka's cosplay and stuff. I wasn't going to do the bow on the back of the bodice, the big white bow, but I think it is actually quite an important part of the cosplay, so I think I am going to do that too. So that's actually 3 things I've got left to do, but that shouldn't take me too long, fingers crossed. So yeah, I'm going to get going on this now, and hopefully the results will be better than the last ones. Right, so I've finally managed to sort out the shrug. I've done a front and a lining. This should be interesting to put together because I've had to put in a couple of quite big darts so that it fits okay over my shoulders, but I've sort of tested it out, wrapped it around my shoulders, and it seems to fit okay, which is really good. But I'm really pleased because something did arrive in the post. I have my modelling clay. Here is my little sort of paper cutout of what it will look like. I'm not going to do it as one whole thing, I'm going to do it in sections, in those sorts of shapes, so that I can link them together with some jewellery wire or some little jewellery loops. Alright, so after a few hours, I'm not even exaggerating, I finally sorted out some shapes for the trinkety bit on Polka's sleeve. They're not exactly perfect, but I've got loads of this stuff left over, so yeah, I'm gonna go put these in the oven now. They're supposed to go in at like gas mark 2, I think, for like half an hour, so I'm gonna put them in and see how they come out. I'm playing Eternal Sonata. I'm just waiting for my little jewellery bits to bake in the oven, so I'm gonna have a play. There's Polka! Yay! I'm really bad at this game, although I'm getting there. Right, so the pieces came out really well. You can't really see now because I've just started painting over them. My mum saw them and said they look really good, but she suggested I paint over them in a more yellowish gold just to match, you know, the rest of the cosplay and stuff. So I've just painted them over. I got a yellow and a gold paint and just sort of mixed them together on a palette, and I've just gone over them basically. So yeah, I'm gonna leave those to dry. They'll probably need another layer or so just to make sure that they're definitely like a proper yellowy gold. But yeah, after that I'll link them all up and see how they look. I finished the jewellery bits, yay! Yeah, they're all finished. I sewed them together with a bit of gold thread in the end because jewellery wire was proving to be a little bit of a pain. And as long as I don't bump this about too much, they should stay nice and secure. So yeah, I haven't sewn them onto the top yet, because onto the sleeves yet, because I'm going to wait until I've done the shrug, so that when I put the shrug over the top I know whereabouts I can place these so that they won't get hidden. So yeah, I made little extra holes on the top so that I can sew them on, and then what I'll probably do as well for extra security is just sew through those other holes there just to be safe. So yeah, they've come out really nicely. I'm quite pleased. And I had my hopeful final arrival in the post today. I got some Free Stop, hooray! So finally I can get on with making the shrug. That's all ready to go. I'm just going to get out some white fabric now. I'm going to make a pattern for the little leafy bits to go around the shrug, and then fingers crossed I might actually get this finished soon. You're currently working on the little feathers to go on the shrug. I made a little leafy feathery pattern thing, and basically I've just cheated and traced around it in pencil onto the bits of white fabric, and I've already made quite a few of the little feathers. Basically what I've done is cut them out, and then I've used the glue to sort of trace the edges of them to stop them fraying. So yeah, I'm probably going to need more, quite a few more, because they are overlapping. So we'll see how it goes and how many more I need to make. It could take a while. Hello! So hopefully today should be my last day of sewing for this cosplay and we should be finished. I am currently working on the shrug. I've basically made all these little feathery bits, glued around the edges with fray stop so that they don't fray anymore, which is great. I'm just going to keep pinning, and then I'm going to sew them down and put on the lining there, and then all that remains is to sew these little buttons onto the shoulders. They don't quite match this, so I'm very tempted to just make new new buttons out of the clay. I've got plenty of clay left over. So yeah, and then of course I've got to attach the strings in so that the thing ties up. Hey everybody, my cosplay is so close to being finished, it's untrue. Oh my god. I've sewn the flower onto the sleeve, I've made little gold buttons for the shrug, I've sewn on the little gold jewelry bits onto the sleeves, and the other day I thought it's finished, finally I can put it on, and I went to put it on and disaster struck. The zip broke on the bodice, so yeah, so it's sadly not quite finished yet. But what I've decided, if you come with me over here, yesterday I bought some eyelets. I figured, do you know what, Polka's bodice is actually laced up at the back. I only noticed when I was playing the game. So I've bought some eyelets, and I've bought some more of that lovely brown cord to lace through. So I'm going to actually lace the bodice. I've got a mallet there that I managed to find up in the loft. So the plan is to do some eyelets. I've never done eyelets before, so this is going to be interesting, but hopefully this will be the last bit before my cosplay's finished, so wish me luck. I put in my first eyelet. It doesn't look too bad. It's okay. I mean, it feels a bit loose. That kind of makes me nervous, but it's in. It's okay. And yeah, I'm just about to start on the second one, and I'll carry on all the way down until I need to do the other side, and then we're nearly finished. Woo! We have a fully laced bodice, hooray! Put all the eyelets in, it's all done, it's all okay, it's all ready to go, it all matches, it's great. I'm gonna put all those on, put this on, and yeah, I need to still put the bow on the bow. There's the bow, there's the bow. The bow still needs to go on here. I modified the bow so it looks a bit prettier. That's just got to go on the back somehow. But yeah, fingers crossed this is it, guys. I'm going to go try it all on and see how it looks. So see you in a second. Guys, it's finished! Hooray! Oh, it's finished at last. It's taken me so long, but it's done. I've put on the bandana so you can see how it looks. And actually it's not too bad. I'm really chuffed, and I think the most problematic bit is the shrug, because it keeps flipping up and not behaving properly, and it's a bit of a pain, and it's slightly, at points it slightly covers the jewellery bits on the arm, so I may move them down ever so slightly, but everything's done. You can't really see because, like, there we go. The eyelets all in the back with all the lacing done up and everything, and everything's done. I'm really pleased. So yeah, everything's done and my cosplay of Polka is finished. Well, I mean, there are a couple of details obviously that I need. I need to get some bloomers, and I need to get some black ribbon to go around the bloomers, and I need to sort out some socks to put black dots on and stuff. So I do still have a few little bits and pieces to do, but otherwise it's finished. I'm so chuffed. It's taken me so long to make this, and also I obviously need a wig and things, so I am going to be sorting that out, and I will have to customise it obviously, because it's quite a complex wig, but I'm gonna give it a rest for a while, and yeah, I'm just so pleased. So yeah, thank you so much for watching this video, everybody. I really hope you enjoyed it, yeah, hopefully I'll have some pictures to put up for you soon. So thanks for watching, everyone. See you soon. Bye. Genuinely starting to wonder when I'm actually going to make a cosplay that doesn't result in a massive mess.